Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. It is exactly 9:38 a.m. and I speak with high respect with our next guest, and he's Asad Gaffar, Westville Ratepayers Association Chairperson, and we are going to be talking about the report back regarding the rates protest presentation with Westville's Ratepayers Association Chairperson. That, of course, I said is Asad Gaffar with much respect. Salaam alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thanks for having me.
Asad, this is no mean feat at all for a group of people like yourself to band together and decide to take on um, local government. And we've seen in the media what exactly is playing out, not only in eThekwini, but all around the country. And we salute you and everybody else involved with you for taking on this task. Because if someone like you and your, the people that are standing together with you on this issue, if we don't take a stance, this situation is already halfway or has already been hijacked and corrupted, obviously. And you guys are fighting hard to make these councillors accountable and to deliver the services that people are paying for, people that work, who slog day in and day out to have a roof over their heads and to have the services that they pay for. How did this all start for you?
Well, 100%. In fact, what you're talking about has become quite necessary. In fact, it's now more urgent than ever that people across the country, across municipalities, do exactly the same. I'm sure you've seen in the last day or two a directive that has come out from National Treasury, in which it's telling us that the country is now bankrupt. So forget about the municipality. We have an issue with the whole of South Africa. So you asked, how did this all come about? It started about 2.5 years ago when people were complaining about service delivery on as they normally do on a WhatsApp group, and everyone just complains and complains and complains, and no one wanted to stand up and say, let's do something. And that's exactly how it started. It started like that, where we said, let's stop complaining, let's try and do something, let's try and make some change. And that's exactly how it all started.
So, taking up this very, very strong stance against corruption. I mean, just recently, I was absolutely gobsmacked when I read the report where I'm sure it was the eThekwini local municipality that wanted to spend over R1 million on some sort of a staff party or some sort of perk or the other. Goodness gracious me, what were they thinking? And I do hope and pray that that mobilized you guys even further to say this nonsense and this rot has to stop.
In fact, it's the entire community in eThekwini that has gone up against us. It's unacceptable. I mean, we've got serious service delivery issues. And this municipality, instead of focusing on its core responsibility, they would rather have these parties, they rather have fashion shows, soccer tournaments. It's unacceptable. I mean, we're not prepared to put up with this. No, not anymore.
And it's your hard earned money, is it not? Let's look at the risks involved, Assad, for you as ratepayers, forming an organization and taking a stance against these incompetent municipal officials.
Look, there's various risks. One, I mean, the stance that we've taken, we know the position that we're in. People in this campaign understand the risks as well, because what the municipality is doing is they're threatening us in terms of disconnection. So disconnections of electricity, disconnections of water. And we are saying, no problem. We're prepared to go through that amount of pain because, again, we're trying to make a change. And that change requires that we make these sacrifices. The other is that people keep talking about whether we have bodyguards and protection. We're not too concerned about that. If we were worried about that, we wouldn't have stood up. So we are saying we're prepared to go through whatever process is required in order to demand accountability. And again, it's for our hard-earned money. It's irresponsible of this municipality to think that this money belongs to them and they can use it as and how they please.
Where are you now in on this matter? There was a report back to the Westville Ratepayers Association regarding the rates protest. What does that protest look like? Are you people holding back in paying your rates and taxes, and rightly so, because you're not receiving any services? But how is this all going to play out? Let's talk about the report back, and then what's the next step going forward?
We did have a follow-up meeting with the municipality. They basically still kicking the can down the road. They're not prepared to accept responsibility. They have conceded that in a few areas there is some change that is required. But what we are demanding is an oversight. And we want an oversight in terms of what revenue the city collects, how it is used, where it is used, what's the process in terms of who gets awarded any of these contracts and tenders. So we want total oversight. If if and when we reach that point, then I think maybe we as the protesters will say, okay, fine, let's end the protest, let's sit down, let's sign on this negotiation and let's move forward. But up till then, we will hold out. We're now in month two, and basically, I can tell you that the campaign has gained a lot of momentum. There are many people coming into the system, and we're hoping that we will be successful.
Okay, we've got a message here from Bilal Adamji. Let me just read it out to you. Well done to Asad and his team for taking on this mammoth task for the benefit of all the residents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them and grant them victory. Inshallah, Ameen. Shukran very much, Bilal
I mean,
Adamji, for that very encouraging message. Asad, so you've had talks. Let's understand. You have, in fact, had talks with a local government regarding the situation. And when you talk about protest, um, have you guys withheld paying your rates and taxes and electricity bills? Just paint us that picture, that scenario. What does it look like? And is that why they have threatened to cut off services to you guys?
they've been threatening even before we started the campaign. That's the only recourse they have in order to subdue ratepayers. They use disconnections as a credit control measure. However, in terms of legislation, once you've declared a dispute with a municipality, they cannot disconnect services, electricity, water. They cannot charge you interest on arrears. They cannot rescind any of the other credit agreements that are in place, etc. They are well aware of this policy, but what they've been doing is putting out some media reports or Facebook, etc., trying to threaten individuals to say that if you embark on this, this is what's going to happen. We obviously had to counter that and advise people that what the city is telling you and what the legislation says is something totally different. We started withholding our funds around the 4th of August, um, and we closed, I think, around the 15th or 16th. And to date, we have just over R1 million that we have managed to divert away from the city. Um, since that time to now, I can tell you a lot more people have joined in. Those that started in the first month are in their second month, and we will continue this process until we reach the discussions or we bring the city to the discussion table. Part of the strategy is that we want to withhold as much money as we can out of the city coffers because we do not trust the city with our money. And that process itself has the possibility of putting this eThekwini municipality under administration. So at, right now, it is in the city's best interest to talk to us and to end this dispute.
Okay, so having withheld the money going into month 2, has anybody's services been disconnected? And when you talk about placing the city under administration, would that mean that those people that are employed there would still be in the job? Would they be, dismissed, and you bring in fresh blood? I'm not quite sure if that is your, as a citizen and this action group, that's not part of your mandate. But how do you suppose all of this is going to play out? I'm just wondering if the council, the city council, the eThekwini City Council, refuses to engage with you, what would be your next step? And I'm also worried about they could, stop services immediately because, they hold the trump card, so to speak, unless the fact that the residents are not paying rates and taxes means that they won't have the monies in the coffers to make the wheels continue turning.
You've raised a few points there. One is, so far, everyone that's in this campaign has not been disconnected.
Oh, good
Uh,
on you.
but to save, yes, but to safeguard our members, what we have done is that we've lodged an application for an interdict should this municipality move in that direction. So they are aware of it. We've already served them with a notice. It is set down for the 1st of November. Um, should they disconnect any of our members that are in the protest, we will immediately go to the High Court and we'll have the matter heard. Um, Again, that's just the protection that we put there, and it will. We're waiting to see what the courts will rule in that matter. If the courts rule against us, we will hand over the money to the municipality. We have no issue with that. But if the courts rule in our favor, then we will continue the protest. Now, in terms of the administration, part of what you've raised, would we want to go to look at the individuals, how they're performing in their job functions, etc. Most definitely we would, because what we're saying is, if we had the right people in the right jobs and doing their job, then we wouldn't find ourselves in this situation. It is unfortunate that these people or the senior people in the municipality are not doing what they're supposed to do. Each person has been employed for a specific role and purpose. And if they had, even if they do 50% of what the requirement is, we wouldn't find ourselves in this situation.
Absolutely. You guys undoubtedly have done your homework and you've done it very, very thoroughly indeed. So, if council does agree to sit down at the table and have a discussion with you guys, and if they do accede to all of your demands, you will then release the money to council so that they can continue doing their jobs. But there will very definitely be conditions in place, like you've just outlined, to check the suitability of all the different people in their specific jobs, and really to ascertain whether they do know what they're doing and are they the right fit for that particular job. I'm just wondering
Correct.
if they will allow you that leeway. But if you do go to court and if there is an interdict in place, then I suppose the ball will then once again be in your court, and hopefully you guys have done the right thing up to now and you will continue doing the right thing going forward. If they don't come to the table, is there a chance at all that that entire council could be disbanded, liquidated? I'm not quite sure what government, job contracts look like, how they are protected. But could that be one of the possibilities that would play out? And do you have the right people, inshallah, to maybe fill these people's shoes should they all be fired? Or I'm talking worst case scenario here, of course. Assad?
Yes. So if you're talking about the Section 139 administration against the city, it talks about that. It talks about the full removal of the sitting council, because what the legislation talks about is the fact that this administration is not in the does not have the capacity to run the metro, and hence that is the most extreme intervention. What we've seen in other cities and towns and metros is that when this towns or cities are placed under administration, it is normally the administrators are people that are appointed by the ruling party,
Mm.
and we find that they don't really take this seriously. What we are calling for is something totally different, and it is in the Systems Act that gives us this provision where it talks about oversight. And we've already mentioned this to the mayor when we met with him. We said what we are looking for is a board that will oversee the city. So in other words, you come with your four, we come with our four. You come with your six, we will come with our six. You also asked the question is, we have people that have the capacity to, to help us and to assist us. And the answer is a total yes. In fact, we've had
Oh,
individuals approach
wow.
us to say that we would like to assist you, and we are just a pressure group, right? We are ordinary individuals. We don't have the capacity to run cities, and
And you're
we've
not going to
been
get paid. You're
yes,
not getting paid for what you're doing up to now. And you're not even
100%,
expecting any remuneration going forward.
100%, hundred
Hmm.
percent. But what we are saying is, when we come to that point of our four and their four, then we, as the ratepayers, we will choose our four. And
Mm.
we have people who are professionals in administration. We have people who are professional engineers. We have scientists. We have actuarial scientists. We've got all these professionals ready to step in once we reach that stage.
Well, all I can say is good on you, Asad, Gaffar, and the is it the Westville Ratepayers Association? There's also, I think, there's also the eThekwini Ratepayers Association. I stand corrected. Asad, are you there? We
Hello,
seem
can you
to,
hear me?
yeah. Um, Well, I wish you guys lots of luck. Our du'as are with you all. Please don't give up on this very, very important undertaking. We need people like you in the community to stand up for us so that we can go forth and make sure that this country doesn't go into further degradation. It's bad as it is, but with people like you around and the different associations, we can pull the country back from the brink, inshallah. Go well, take care, and shukran so very much for talking with us on the show this morning.
Jazakallah for having me, and Jazakallah for the support.
That was Asad Ghaffar, and of course, you heard the big fight that him and all of his fellow Ratepayers Association members have taken on. It's a huge fight, similar to a David Goliath situation, if you ask me. Inshallah, they do, they are successful. Common sense prevails, and let the powers that be sit down and engage with Asad Ghaffar and the Westville Ratepayers Association and make things start happening. Wipe out all of the corrupt activities and let service delivery continue as smoothly as we've been used to in the past. That kind of brings us to the end of the show today. Just before I do leave you, two important announcements to be made. The one is Cleanup Erasmia, and it is for World Cleanup Day. Join us this World Cleanup Day on the 16th of September 2023 from 8:30 in the morning. The location is Van Melly Street at the Skierverberg Dirt Road, Erasmia Extension, Grey Street. Let's just give you that address again. Van Melly Street and this Skierverberg Dirt Road, Erasmia, extension Grey Street. Volunteers are welcome. Please come and help us clean up illegal dumping and restore the environment. Refreshments and water available for volunteers. And what you need to take along with you on the day is a hat or a sunscreen, garbage bags, gloves, and litter pickers. For more information, please go to hiking at hoogland.coza. Hiking at hoogland.coza. And the next important community announcement I must make before I leave you this morning is the rates, rebate, and info table for Ward 54 in Ormonde. This is corner Dorado Avenue and Daman Road, opposite the chip shop. It's happening this Saturday, the 9th of September, from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So they are asking you, the organizers are asking you to please join them on Saturday at the information table. They will be assisting residents with the rates, rebate forms, IEC registration, check on status, update and change of details, also welcoming new residents to Ward 54 and an opportunity to meet with Councillor Stuart Murray. Mouth. The contact number there is 082 775 1332. Thank you all. Please do make your way there in droves and support the rates and rebate info table. And that's it from me. It's exactly 10 o'clock. A big shout out to our producer, Nasri Naidu, and our controller, our technical controller, and that's you, Abdul Salam. Thanks, guys. Until tomorrow morning at the same time. And I see you guys are with interns today, so make sure you teach them well. They're going to be with us for a couple of weeks, I should imagine. So do your thing. Teach them well, and hopefully they'll become permanent staffers here sometime soon. Inshallah. Till tomorrow morning at the same time, as always, take care on the roads. Assalamu alaikum and Khudafiz from me, Julie Ali.